Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this is something, shout out to you guys. I'm back with the Broadband Bullies. It's a bunch. We're growing. Like I said, we once a it's supposed to be like a week, but we get together. Actually, mute this in the background. Mute myself in the background. But I'm rocking out with a new crew. You know what I mean? And again, maybe I'm not new, but the brand itself is new. When you think of next gen, you think of big game or small talk, maybe Beast Fire or even the multiplayer. But this here is the parent company. This is all said, all to be all Broadband Bullies. And I got, King's Blood Gaming, the Masterland. I got Neethus, my man Xbox Juice. I got a Patreon supporter VIP, my man Bryant. He doesn't have a channel, but like I said, he's doing it for the culture. You play on Xbox, right, Bryant? More or less.
Yeah, I play mostly on Xbox. I play on everything though. Okay,
for sure. Like I said, before we get in, we have a few topics here. And I'm talking, my man Post Up is joining, my man with the consoles. Let me ask you, I'm gonna start off with you, Bryant, until you feel your way and how to get into the conversation. Gamescom Sunday. Give me the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And the only thing good from Gamescom for Xbox was damn pre-order finally being launched for the Xbox One X. They made us wait till Gamescom to fucking pre-order a Xbox One X. Shit else. Yeah. They did a bunch of exclusives for Disneyland. I don't give a shit about Disneyland. I don't give a shit about Age of Empires. That's fucking PC. I used to do PC gaming back in the day. That's not today. That's back in the past.
All right.
I was expecting the exclusives like Killer Instinct being announced. That was heavily rumored.
Yeah. Hold up. We ain't hear nothing about Killer Instinct. I know we got the new character. What's that? What's my man's name with the guy? With the shit. You know, talking about the
Eagle.
Eagles was his little brother, little cousin. We got him. I forgot the guy's name. But are they doing a season 4? Like, okay, I'm sorry.
It was heavily rumored. It's supposed to be it wasn't supposed to be a season 4. It's supposed to be a completely brand new Killer Instinct.
All right. Well, that's what I mean. Yeah. I mean, maybe in 2018 we might hear something. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you remember K Mega thought it was gonna be fucking Killer Instinct versus Mortal Kombat, right?
Oh man, let's not bring that up. Listen, man, my brother.
He was serious too.
You gotta forgive him, man. I love him like children. I see a day, man. He gonna get it one day, man. His heart is in the right place, you know what I mean? But again, so what didn't you like about the show, Brian? You know what I mean? You said you got the chance to pre-order the Xbox One X, and it's something that Neethus brought up. I don't understand why we had to wait, but I guess it did well for them. It built a bunch of anticipation. Got people that went out there and and what was it, sold out in 1 day, 2 days? The Xbox Scorpio edition ones. Okay. So what didn't you like? You said you didn't like the Disneyland, the Rush. But what do you? I'm actually just. I mean, let me reword the question. What do you want to see from Microsoft going forward? You know what I mean?
I want to see more games, man. I play Halo. I play a little bit of Gears here recently. You got me into Gears, but sure. you gonna have to. I'm a racing fan. I love Forza, but damn, you only got them 3 games. You need more than just them 3 games. Period.
Okay. All right. The Maslin.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now listen again. All right. Now you had a few days to sleep on it, and we talked about this on Beast Fire and other things. But what do you want to see from Microsoft to get better? You know what I mean? I'm not even going to talk about the games kind of thing. I'm just giving. What do you want to see from Microsoft to get better?
I want them to announce not only that they've moved personnel. I don't want them to announce new studios because they already exist. I want them to announce that the studios that they have are doing something for Xbox. Like they have too many studios that no one even knows exist. They need to make games, and I want them to announce them. I want them not to wait until they're almost ready or any of that garbage. Show us something, because right now everybody is in a holding pattern. And when you get people that get restless, they start to wonder. You don't want them to wonder when right now you have the most powerful console coming out. Like, you don't want them to think about anything other than your console. So you need to announce stuff that, even if it's not coming out for years, completely irrelevant, you need to make sure that it is in the conversation. Because even to this day, when Scalebound was announced, it was always in the conversation. When they canceled it, it's still in the conversation. You need to make a conversation around your platform. All publicity is good publicity. Like that's been a staple in business for a while. So you need to put it out there. There's going to be people that say that, oh, it's just going to get canceled like Scalebound, whatever. But they're still talking about it. They're still talking about something new. Right now, we don't even know what the new is. And we don't even, it's even worse because the only thing we know that's in your normal rotation that's coming out is Forza. So even out of the Forza, Halo, and Gears, the only thing we actually know that has a concrete release date, year, whatever, is Forza. Everything else is also in a holding pattern. So even the things that are your staples, we don't even know when those are coming out because you don't talk about them. So they need to,
correct me if I'm wrong. Don't they have like 2 or 3 studios in New York?
They have
that ain't even doing shit.
They have 2 in London, 2 or 3 in Canada, 2 in LA, 1 in New York, and 1 in South America. But again, nobody knows any of these exist because they haven't made anything.
What studios are these?
They're just called Microsoft X, or like Microsoft Vancouver. Microsoft. They have one in Vancouver, one in Montreal. They have one in London.
Wait, Maslin, hold on. Can I ask you a quick question? So they have these studios, but they closed Lionhead.
No. Well, I think what they do, I think, not think, but maybe they, Microsoft makes a lot of other stuff. Maybe, PC side of things.
Yeah, they have like 3, platform studios. I didn't even count those. These are just studios that's opened up in the last like 4.5 years or so that are under the games portion of their studio banner. Like Microsoft overall has a bunch of studios. 3 of them are dedicated to platform software, and then 3 of them, they have another 3 that are dedicated to like Windows software offshoots, like integration of Windows platforming and game generation is what they call it. And then they have 1 that's dedicated to integration between all 3. So like 7 of their studios are dedicated, or 6 of their studios are dedicated to making sure their software and hardware stuff works. But they have the other studios that I named are strictly have been opened, and they don't have a designator by their name. Like if you, like in their corporate breakdown sheet, like all the rest of them is like they are doing platform diagnostics. They are doing Windows integration. Like it says that next to the studio. These don't have anything next to them, so I don't know what they're doing. And considering they all answer to Phil, like because all of the studios don't all answer to Phil, but the ones that I named, they all answer to Phil, and I don't know what they're doing. No one does because they haven't produced a damn thing, and they haven't told us anything. So his silence is hurting more than him coming out and saying, "Oh, we have this, we announced this." It may not come out for 3 years. So what? People talk about Death Stranding every day. That's not coming out before 2020 at the earliest. Shenmue, they put up a trailer. It looked like trash. It's not coming out till 2020. But people are talking about it.
Yeah.
Again, people are talking about it.
Well, here's my thing, Master. And actually, this one again, like I said again, Phil just recently released a comment or interview or something. He was saying that they have new deals in place. The games that are slated, big games that are not slated to come out for the next 2 or 3 years, but it makes no sense to talk about them right now. I think the difference, like you're saying, like what are you talking? It gets people excited what's to come from your console. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right. Didn't Microsoft get slammed for some stuff like that years ago for announcing games too early?
That's not the issue. The issue is cancellation. You know,
exactly. What I mean? But I'm saying he's talking about announcing the games. You know what I'm saying?
Right, like, but this is the thing though. Like the only reason that anybody got upset with Microsoft about announcing things early was because they canceled Scalebound and they pushed it so much. But on the other side of that coin is right now the only things we know are coming out next year. And this is like Forza Horizon hasn't been announced, but we all know that's coming. Forza Horizon 4 is coming out. We got State of Decay, Crackdown, Sea of Thieves. Those are the things we know is coming out, and we've known that for years. So what's the difference between us knowing those things for years and them telling us something new that's coming out? Because as of right now, we're just looking at next year like, okay, we know those are coming. What's coming beyond that? If you look at the Sony side, we know next year they'll have God of War, Spider-Man, Days Gone. Beyond that, they'll have Shenmue and Death Stranding. Like, we know there are other things beyond that. Even if you don't care for those games, even if you don't give a damn about them, you know that they exist. Xbox doesn't have that what's coming after thing. Like they have the we already know this is happening. Cool. Some of the stuff we want, some of the stuff nobody cares about, it's all the same, but we don't know what's coming after the stuff we already know. And the fact that they refuse to tell us because they are expecting for people to get into the mode of, oh, it's just going to get canceled. You can't do that. You got to basically take your balls out your purse, your wife's purse, and put them on and just talk to us. Like,
be the behemoth you are.
Right.
Okay, well, my man, brother Garrett, well, talk to me. I already got your opinion about Gamescom. What are you going forward? What do you want to see from Microsoft for them to get better? I mean, what do you want to see change?
For me, it got to be new games. Not to mention, Phil got to go over to Japan and clean up them games, bro. What was that trip for, man? Why is Sony getting all these little Japanese games? Not saying I want them. I'm not saying that at all. But it wouldn't look so bad. Like, you gotta remember, Sony's not releasing a lot of first-party exclusives. A lot of that shit is third-party. Like, Phil could get that shit too, but I don't know. Maybe they just don't want to do it. Sometimes you might have to give up a little bit of that percentage, man, just to get it. You don't let the competition run away with all the games, bro. That's not the name of the game. That's not what you do. You gotta secure it, man. I don't know how you gotta secure it because Japan rock with Japan, but you gotta secure it, man. You gotta send that bag over there. You know what I'm saying? And let me see. If you got to go with the games. We've been talking about how this first parties need to do extra. Let me see. Also, like Phil, he just said that he got 2 or 3 games. He got games that are on the way. They're like 2 or 3 years out. My thing is, all right. So next E3, we need to know about them games then. Yo, start putting that bug in people's ear early so they know it's coming. If we don't know it's coming, it's like whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, can't be doing that, Phil. You can't be holding back on everything, and don't be scared to put something out early in the year. Like, I'm getting tired of this. All right, let's dump all our shit in the fucking fall every year. Like, come on, man. Like, I think them pushing Sea of Thieves back, and I'm starting. I just did a video how I'm coming around to the idea of Crackdown releasing in the spring. It has more of a chance in the spring than it does this holiday. Let's be real. Crackdown would have been swallowed this holiday. I mean, pause that, but it would have been swallowed, bro. They had no chance this holiday season, but I think it might do a little bit of numbers being as well as coming out next year around the time we usually dry as hell. But yeah, man, they just got to start trying something different. Everything that worked last generation probably won't work this generation, bro. You got to do something different. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Sony doing shit different. They took Xbox 360's whole model. Like, yo, let's be real, man.
All right,
but
well,
yeah, man.
I mean, you know what? To add what you're adding, and I'm gonna shoot up the needles. You said maybe go. I mean, well, again, just to be fair, they did show about 40 some odd games at E3.
Where they at?
I'm just saying, yeah. You know what's crazy? Because they did a speed run, right? At E3. Maybe they could showcase some of those games a little, at Gamescom. This, you know what I mean? Because I don't remember them all. You know what I mean? I don't. You know what I mean? They show so much in a certain little time that you probably missed a lot. They should have took some of those games out of there and maybe talked about them. You know what I mean? Because they showed 2 or 40 something, 20 were console exclusives. You know what I mean? I think they should. There's something that they should have done or could have done. Like, I don't know. Like this to me, just like I said, this Gamescom was horrible. And what's like again, you have a show or whatever you want to call it, a treehouse event, and still wasn't even there. Like, so I don't know what the hell's going on, man. You know what I mean? But
Also, the fact that I'm sorry, my bad. Let me just say this right quick. The fact that they didn't have side-by-side comparisons with Xbox One S and Xbox One X is fucking disgusting, bro.
Facts.
Like, we don't, we blindly buying the console. Think about it, bro. Yo,
facts.
Oh my, you don't even know. You are, believe it or not, you just showed how much faith you got in Phil Spencer by buying this console, and you haven't even seen anything from it yet.
You know what?
All you heard about it. You never really seen it.
They're in a
You see, and don't tell me about that comparison with what is that Tomb Raider? Yeah. Man, listen, the Tomb Raider thing was in 1080p, 60 frames per second, bro. That's what that video was in. Don't tell me about that. I need to see real comparisons, bro.
You know what? And that's something that I mentioned before. I think that they're kind of like in a catch-22 because the way to show that off, right? And not totally take a dump on the Xbox. They still got to sell that. You know what I mean? That's going to still most likely be their biggest seller. That's kind of a tricky situation to show off the X while not taking the shit on the S. I
got a perfect idea for you. You ready?
Yeah.
They have Mixer. They have their own channel on Mixer. Those comparisons need to be running all day long on Mixer when you're not doing special events.
Agreed.
There it is right there. You can put it in 4K.
Hey,
that's it.
Bro, I've been working. We working.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's it right there.
That is a good point. That is a good point.
I gotta jot that down. Hey, King Toe, gotta jot that down. Needles. Needles with the needle.
All right. I gotta say, you guys have been making awesome points. Garrett, I gotta really agree with everything you just said, but and people probably get mad at me for saying this, but I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the whole 343 and coalition thing. Now hear me out.
Right.
Look at developers like Naughty Dog. They took Uncharted 3, and about 5 years later, you had Uncharted 4, and they also made The Last of Us between that. So do not insult 343 or the coalition. I mean, 343 alone has like 400 employees. You can take like 50 of them and like give them like 3 years to make a new IP. Do not insult these devs. They've been working for years. They have experience. And if you're worried about your Halo coming out, you can hire new devs. There's people to tutor them there at 343. So I'm just saying, make that new team, make that new IP. It might be huge for you. And Garrett, as you said, run Mixer all day. I say pull an Apple. Go ahead. Do that shitty, hey, I'm a PC, I'm a Mac thing, but do that with I'm an Xbox and I'm a PS4 with Scorpio and Pro. And fucking show the people, I can do this. You can't do that. I can do both. You can't.
Right.
All right. Post up, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. You ready to get busy?
Sure. It's been an interesting discussion so far.
All right. Now I know you kind of been on the fence. You know what I mean? You've been getting your X bot on. You know what I mean? You ain't been too down on Microsoft, which is cool. You know, we all have our own opinions here. Let's trust. I'm just wary. I've been here for a long. I've been here since 2012, and I'm wary. I'm tired.
You both.
My back is broke. Now I say that to say this: getting better. Microsoft to do better, right? What do you want to say?
Man, I don't know. People might disagree with me, but I think right now the best thing from Phil do is to stay quiet. I mean, we always say Microsoft is damn if you do, damn if you don't. If he put out content. If he show trailers of games that's coming 3-4 years down the line, people gonna complain. If he don't show them, people gonna complain. I mean, they did it back in the day without canceling games.
Okay.
People complained. I mean, people complained about Sony doing the same thing.
Yes, sir.
In regards to the development, I looked at an interview today from a Forza development on Forza 7, which looks amazing. And he said, he's like, I've been in this industry 20 years. I worked across multiple different platforms from the 360 to the GameCube. So, and that just backs up what I was saying early on the other podcast in regards to Microsoft having developers on their team with more than 20 years of experience working across different platforms. So as a development environment, they are capable of putting people to the side and creating new product. Now, they do need new exclusives. Phil been on the job 3 years. It takes at least about 4 or 5 years to put out a AAA title. He's not Superman. You know what I'm saying? I know we expect more from him, but he's not Superman. I think I will give it to probably next E3 to see what him and Shannon Loftus got to show. And if it's not no flame, then shit, it's a problem. But like he said, he wanted to focus on the hardware. He got that straight. He wanted to focus on Xbox Live. He got that straight. Those two is out the way now. It's no excuses moving forward here now, because now all he can do is focus on the software and what he do from here on out, and what happens between now and E3 next year will be the determining factor on where his vision goes. Do I like the lineup that's coming out? No. Super Lucky Tales might get that for my children. It might be fun. I'm not playing no damn Disney game. I'm not playing no Zoo Tycoon, whatever they get. That's not what I brought the X for. But I understand y'all too, because I do wish they would have showed me something that say, hey, look, this is what you invested in. This is what you can expect. And I didn't get that. So, I'm still on the fence a little bit.
Okay, now listen, and hold on, we gotta go to Juice thing. All I'm saying is this: when you say Microsoft is damn if they do, damn if they don't, right? We're not talking about, again, like I said, the haters out there, or the guys with on Twitter with the Easter eggs there. So, what I mean, all these pro Sony channels are acting.
No, even Xbox fans. Yeah. Even Xbox fans.
What I'm saying is that, you have to, like you said, because a lot of it, like I said the other day, I've always said this, like, it was crazy, right? It's maybe making more sense, and people started opening their eyes now.
Yeah.
But this conversation, I brought this up 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm saying is not nothing new. It's unhealthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we talking about, again, when people, I get the backlash. We're not talking, but listen, I bleed green. I got you motherfuckers saying that. You know what I mean? Be the behemoth you are. You know what I mean? Like, so what I'm saying is this: if you know it's coming from me, not to the other people, but it's coming from a good place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all that I'm saying. So I go on I think it's dope though, but I cut my Xbox on a day, and I go to my messages, right? I have about 100 messages. Please don't go pony on this. It ain't about going pony. Listen,
we're just passionate about it.
And I want them to expect
more.
Yeah,
me too. Because I'm tired of the three Halo, the Halo Forza Gears. Halo Forza Gears. Yeah. And I want more AAA titles. I want that next big title, you know what I'm saying, to invest in. Yeah. I'm tired of hearing Halo Gears Forza. Yeah, it's tired now. I mean,
all right. That's all that I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you.
Top and by delivery, yes. But I had to sell it, and I want you to understand. You know what I mean?
You was right though. People,
bro, you all right? I'm like, yo, that's too funny as hell. But no, hey, Juice.
Yo, yeah, I'm here.
Now, listen, your name sounds a lot because you were just on Beastfire. Beastfire, was it Monday?
Yeah.
Beastfire Monday. And you was definitely on the Xbox Juice, right? So, I got to ask you a question, right? Nothing's perfect, okay? No company is perfect, okay? Everybody did, like I said, even with yourself, there's always room for improvement, okay? Because you act like you ain't seen nothing wrong. But so I'm going to ask you this.
I ain't saying that.
I'm saying, what would you like to see from Microsoft for them to improve and to do better?
All right, so I agree with everybody. I mean, everybody had good points. Right now, pretty much the marketing, that's not where it needs to be right now. They got to step that up, and I think Phil is actually trying to play the game a little bit better because he's pushing back some of his exclusives. Yeah, everybody right now is kind of upset about the crackdown, but you see what PlayStation, they don't have their games coming out with the Call of Duties that's coming out in holidays and in bigger games like that. They kind of hold off till the early part of the year. So I think Phil got it under control. He got the hardware right, like everybody said. And I think we just need to give him a chance. Like, I'm sure they're hearing everybody right now. Like, you need the advertisement for the X. You need commercials out there. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's playing it right now, and we'll see what happens. That's
right.
pretty much.
Hey, wait, hold on. Let me add on to Juice. So, Juice, you agree he got the hardware right? And that's what you just said?
Yeah, you got the hardware right. It's
Yeah,
selling like
He definitely did. Okay. I just want to say, so Phil, he's kind of a pansy with it, the whole PlayStation competition thing. So if he's going to advertise X, what he really should do is show, like, you know, proof and articles of, like, you know how they were saying Forza 7 on the X is equivalent to a $1,600 PC? Say shit like that. You can lower down the cost. You could say $1,200, $1,000 PC. Either way, that's either 2 times the cost or more. That's going to show your customer value. So when they see $500, you're like, damn, that's expensive. But then when you see what's compared to, you're like, damn, that's cheap. I got to get that now. Like, you have to advertise. You got to appeal to these people. They see numbers. So when you are comparing, like, a lower number to a much higher number, they're going to go fucking nuts. You're already getting a bunch of pre-orders. Fucking double it. You have to pull an Apple. You have the perfect opportunity.
The pre-orders proves that customers understand what Microsoft put into that box.
Exactly.
The pre-order proved that. In order for us to get the software and the games that we want, Phil couldn't have done that with the original Xbox One or the S. The X had to be made. It had to, because the One and the S, even with the CPU bump, wouldn't have been capable of the AAA games that we expect from Microsoft or that we want. So he had to make a decision. Do I go software first? And then go Xbox Live and then go hardware? Or do I go hardware first, get a capable machine, a more powerful machine, and then go software? But he made a choice. I'm going to go hardware first. I'm going to work on the services of Xbox Live, and then I'm going to go software. Now that he got those two out the way, developers, and from every developer interview that I've read, they are going crazy for the day, and they say it is extreme. I read an article.
You don't think they're working on these new games right now?
I read an article today. The Path of Exile developer. He said it will be a while before developers really tap into the full potential of that machine. He say it's crazy powerful, but before it's gonna be a while. He say that pretty much gonna extend the generation for Microsoft in regards to coming out with another machine, because it's that powerful, and it's gonna be a while before developers really tap into the full potential of that machine.
Destiny, and that's mostly because of the
Destiny discussion.
That's mostly because of UWP. Like once Microsoft has everything under one space, it'll become easier to develop for the Xbox One X. But even that full integration, like, it's supposed to go live in October. I think it's like October 17th. So it's supposed to go live October 17th. The Xbox One comes out November 7th. Before everything is fully rolled over, it probably won't be till the end of December, probably early January, until everything is together. So even the software side of the Xbox One X won't even be fully integrated until
they still optimizing that for the we're not even really the games that we're seeing on there now. From what I heard, the development side on the software specifically is not even at 100%.
They're still working off these 360.
You know what I'm saying? And then we understand, like, and that's why I'm not worried about 60 frames per second games now, because I know we're gonna get an abundance of those later once developers really get a hold of the hardware. But another thing they have to do, we got young game developers that's using old age dinosaur ass engines.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying? That needs to be brought into the new age of software and different design. I mean, I know Maslin can attest to this. You know what I'm saying? These old engines are not going to perform on this new hardware like we want them to, and get that performance gain that we're looking for. You gotta, and that's why I believe that that Frostbite or that use DX12 as they render it now, along with Unreal Engine 4.
Everything is going to
everything going over. You know what I'm saying? Because it allowed them to do the, spread things across those multiple cores.
You can look at Rise, and that's just still one of the best looking games, and that came out in one of the first game for the Xbox. Still one of the best looking games. You could tell they're not using that shit right.
They're not anyway
And it was
because
900p.
Yeah.
DirectX 11 has been long in the tooth for a minute. DirectX 12 has been out for 18 months.
Yeah,
More or less,
a lot
and
of developers still use it.
It's still not even right. It's still not even the mainstay. Once they stopped, once they stopped support for DirectX 11 month before last, that's when everybody saw that general change shift, and they had to start going to DirectX 12. So you'll see all the games going forward, like Battlefront 1 had a DirectX 12 upgrade. Battlefield 2 or Battlefront 2
will be full
DirectX 12.
See, and that's going to be a difference. You're going to see the difference. And a lot of games that came out recently wasn't for DirectX 12. And Phil stated this a while back when Scorpio was around the time it was announced, or doing that when it was leaked, when he was saying that, you know, a lot of engines are not built around DX12, and it's going to take some time for that to happen. And once that happens, then you're going to see the fruition of that, because this console is a full DX12 4.1, I think.
It's built in.
Console,
built into the console.
Hey, Post Up and Masson, I got a quick question. So, Post Up, you brought up that some older engines won't quite perform like we want them to. Can you give me an example? Like, I know we have Killing Floor 2, but what else?
Destiny.
Would this be a problem? Okay, let's move on to that then. So, Garrett, are you still here, my man? All right, hold on. Before we get into that, Garrett, he made an awesome video. I actually agree with quite a bit, and he has some sound logic in it, but can you go ahead and take it away, Garrett, on your thoughts on 60 FPS?
All right, so my thing is this, man. Like, I would love for the game to be 60 frames per second, but like I've been telling people, they got it's so many enemies on scene. Not just the enemies. You gotta think about the little stuff you see flying through the air, debris. You got effects. You got a lot going on in Destiny. Like all them super moves they do, that's a lot going on. But, and I forgot to say this in the video. I don't even know why, but my man Jay Fonzarelli put it out there. What about the multiplayer? Why don't you have 60 frames per second in that multiplayer? That multiplayer it's nothing big. It's not like the regular game.
I always said.
Exactly.
And that's why
Sony money.
That's why they full of shit. Like I agree that the CPUs are semi-anemic. Both of them are semi-anemic. But the consoles are designed as integrated small systems. So you design down to the console level, and it being a singular looped platform, it runs better than a PC because everything is designed for that singular platform loop. So for the same, like John Carmack said, for any given spec, you'll have a higher base performance on a console because it's a integrated loop. You're only designing for one specific thing to do one specific task. You don't have to worry about anything else happening ancillary in the background. Like you ain't got to worry about Audacity and YouTube and all this other stuff being popped up, taking away resources.
Right.
And so,
hey, Maslin, I have a quick question while you go on your thing. So you agree it could easily be 60 frames, you know, for like the versus multiplayer on both the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. Now, do you think it would be 60 FPS on the base consoles?
Yes, they would just have to. Yeah,
lower the resolution.
They have to do. Right. They would have to lower the resolution.
Yeah, is Bungie lazy? Why is it not 60 FPS?
Because Bungie uses an old ass engine, and they haven't upgraded. It was like Call of Duty. Call of Duty uses an old ass engine. Titanfall 1 was on Source Engine. They use a derivative of that engine, and they always have. And they are so comfortable in building within that engine that they just don't want to step outside of their comfort zone because they have deadlines. So the deadlines allow. Now you drop the old consoles. So you drop, 360 PS3. So now you can upgrade, quote unquote, certain areas, and it'll look visually more appealing because you don't have to code to that lower base. But since they no longer have to code to that lower base, but they still have to release something before they lose the momentum that Destiny had, they went to go with, instead of designing a new engine, they went with their tried and true, and their tried and true is designed for a certain parameter. That's why the PC version of Destiny is not being developed by Bungie.
Oh, I had no idea. Can you explain that a bit?
The PC version of Destiny is outsourced. Like Bungie has their hands in it, quote unquote.
Yeah, they guiding it.
Right,
Yeah,
they're
they got
guiding
developing.
Whoa,
I didn't know
hold
this.
up. You said the PC version is outsourced?
Yeah,
Yes.
like Bungie is
They
I can't remember the name.
No, hold up.
Top of my head.
PS4.
Hold up. That makes sense though, because I've been telling people that Bungie has never made a 60 frames per second game on console.
No, they
They
haven't.
got a 30 frames per second engine, man. They engine built around 30 frames. And engine, and another thing is the reason why they do it is because building an engine from scratch, that shit takes a long fucking time and it costs a lot of money. That shit just don't happen overnight. And it's more easier and less of a cost for them to add on or upgrade their engine than to just say we feel to build a whole new engine. And a lot of developers work like that. But in the case of the Xbox One, any closed system, PS4, 360, Xbox One X, they're gonna always punch above their weight because they're closed systems. And as developers, when you get something that's closed, where you can't do any upgrades, where you forced to find a way to squeeze as much as you can out of that system, it pushes you to start finding things and finding, better ways to get better performance out of the hardware.
Like I think they can do it, man. Because didn't Microsoft have to send engineers to Bungie to get the first Destiny running up to par? You know what I'm saying?
It was to get it at 1080p. To get it to 1080p, they was having some issues.
Yeah, exactly.
But like I said, the last time I checked, I will say this: some engines are more GPU heavy, I guess.
Yep.
And some engines are more CPU heavy.
But
what I'm saying, the last time I checked or whatever, unless I'm saying I'm misquoting somebody, just taking the Xbox One X, okay? They have a DirectX 12 chip basically built, baked in within the motherboard, right? And that was to offset like what they said, like 20% or 30% of the workload or whatever the case may be, and you still can't get that up to 60 frames. You know what I mean? And it's still going to be the same frame rate as the Xbox One regular and the PS4 Slim.
And that's how you know that Bungie's engine is old, because most new engines are GPU heavy.
Yep.
Because those things
everybody
going
moving everything over to the GPU.
Right.
They're
that's how you
pretty much
know
getting away
that
from the
Bungie's
I don't think
CPU. A lot of engines only go to the CPU when it has to.
Yeah.
Other than that,
last
everything
resort.
is on the GPU. Just like Titanfall 2. It only goes to the CPU when things starts to get chaotic on the screen, and it's too much for the GPU to handle. To prevent the GPU from throttling, it'll release some of that by going to the CPU. But all the new engines are pretty much GPU based, like Maslin said.
Because that's why you see a lot of like tech YouTubers, they'll compare graphics cards using frame rate now more so than graphical analysis.
But isn't the Unity engine more CPU based? Wasn't Assassin's Creed running better on the Xbox One X? Xbox?
What the hell does what was it? Was it the Unity? It was the Unity.
I think Unity. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Snowdrop now.
Snowdrop. Yeah, Snowdrop.
Now, but
So many good things about that Unity.
That was CPU bound too.
Yeah, CPU heavy. Yeah.
Hey, Joseph, I have a quick question. So I think
Snowdrop isn't really CPU heavy. It uses like a CPU buffer. So what basically how Snowdrop is designed is there's like a large cache of information, right? They put that all in one place on the GPU. They use the CPU as a interim contact point for that large cache of information. So where it looks on the surface as it's CPU heavy, just because it's doing so many calculations, the information isn't dedicated to the CPU side like most CPU heavy engines are. So they designed it so it can utilize the CPU better by storing the information on the GPU and moving it between the two.
Yeah.
So most things will store a cache on the CPU itself and then have to try to drag that information to the GPU to render it. Snowdrop does it in the opposite direction, so it utilizes the CPU more, but it's not CPU heavy. If you get what I'm saying.
What's your
Yeah.
just big
So,
old
Yeah, post up. I want to bring up something you said earlier. So you said, you know, making new engine takes time, it takes money, and you know they were comfortable. That's what Maslin said with their old engine. But let's not leave out the elephant in the room. We all know Activision is here, so they're not necessarily going to give them that time. And if they do take that time, then apparently they're going to get a bunch of their stocks. Correct?
Yeah, you know,
I think you know about that.
I mean, look, man, this is a development of games already take long as it is.
Bungie in the 360.
These game companies, even Microsoft, they ain't trying to spend that money into building. Now, if you get a new studio, you know what I'm saying? Look at EA. That's why EA trashed all their engines, their 9 inches and all that, and moved everything over to one engine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That over time, that money start adding up. And if you building one from the ground up, man, bro, I ain't talking about no months. That shit could take probably a year or two to really get that engine optimized and with all the features that you want in it. And that's a lot of money. And that's just building an engine. You ain't even started the game because you and then you go from building an engine to game. Come on, now that's I ain't trying. You finna take this engine you've been working with. You're gonna add a few pieces. You're gonna patch a band-aid right here. You're gonna put a band-aid right there.
Yeah.
You're gonna put a little rainbow on there, tie a knot in it, then you're gonna create your game. Because we ain't finna be spending all that money.
You know what's a good engine,
Yeah.
dude?
And that's why Remedy would fucking take forever to make their games.
Make GTA, whatever engine is that. That's pretty nice.
I don't know what they use for. That's a good question. I don't know what they use for.
Yeah.
Rockstar.
It fucking works. That's all I'll say. I like it.
Definitely do.
Yeah.
And it looks good too. I mean, that should look
Yeah,
good.
because they add on, man. They add on new features.
Red Dead looks insane. Like just
Based
the few
on what
things we've seen.
Yeah, based on what the GPU can give them and what the GPU allowed them to do. Okay, we got enough power here to do this. We've add this to the engine.
That's because they made it like that, though.
I ain't heard from Brian yet, man. We get Brian in the conversation.
Oh, I'm here, man. I'm listening to what everybody's saying.
Brian over there chilling. How you feeling, Brian?
You know what I'm saying?
Enjoying yourself,
I'm
player?
good, man.
I see you, player. Don't hurt me.
Always.
Well, again, I'm sure once we see you guys touch the Destiny thing. How long is their contract? Here's a good question. How long is their contract with Activision? Is it 3
10
games?
years.
10 years.
Well, 10 years.
We're gonna have that
In the
in
contract,
10 years,
We're gonna have that from 2 more games.
yeah, I don't know what else they're working on besides. Is Destiny a 3-part series or what the hell is that?
Destiny was supposed to be 1 10-year game.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
And they got to hit certain deadlines because that contract, boy.
The reason that we have a Destiny 2 instead of Destiny Rise of the Cabal or whatever they wanted to call this expansion is because they needed to reset Destiny. Like everybody had an expectation of what Destiny was. It didn't come out on PC like it should have. And they had to try to kill the old console.
The old engines. Yeah.
Right. They had to kill the old console. So we got a Destiny 2. In my head, I don't see how we're going to get a Destiny 3. I think they're just going to extend this out with Rise of whatever expansion packs for the next 6 years.
Or 6 years or 3.
Well,
there's
here's
2
again,
right
so
now, so that'll go over 3 years.
Destiny 2, which they're calling it, is what Destiny 1 should have been?
Yes.
Yes, Destiny 2 is what Destiny 1 should have been, and it's the actual way they wanted to release it because they were originally trying to go all current gen console, but Activision was like, "We need you to make one for the last gen." That's why a lot of this stuff.
Here's the thing. That's why I'm saying I don't really put any weight into what they're saying about the 60 frames because that same excuse they gave why their game was 30 frames because they had to put on a PS3 and the 360. Now,
but they also
that's what I'm saying. They could do it. It's just because of that PS4 money, man. They just can't have.
Oh shit, Juice! You fucking going there?
Yeah, Brian.
What were you gonna say, Brian?
Going there, man.
No, they were also saying that last excuse they came up with was the reason why it's 30 frames locked on consoles was because so much would be going on during the campaign, but they would not answer the big fucking elephant in the room. That has absolutely jack shit to do with the multiplayer where everybody wants a 60 frames per second to be on.
Yes.
Dumb shit.
Somebody, what else is calling me on?
The sheer fact that they don't have the 60 frame split lets me know that everything else they said about 60 frames is complete and utter bullshit.
Wait,
Because there's plenty of
quick question for
there's
you.
plenty of games with 30 FPS campaign and 60 FPS multiplayer.
Yeah. So
Correct.
do you think Destiny 2 could run at
Here's
60
the
frames on the X and Pro like during the regular campaign and stuff, or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this is a moral question I want to ask just you guys in general. Do you
Are you
think
guys
it
talking about
matters?
4K 60?
But no, it can be 1440. I don't
It would
care.
be
Just
like
60 frames.
1440p.
But
it'd be 60.
this is just a quick question I want to ask you guys in the room. So in a cooperative game such as Destiny, you know, when you're playing the campaign, you're playing with your group, you're like 3 people. Do you really care if your friend's playing it at 60 frames and you're playing it at 30? Does that truly affect you?
No.
No, right? What else do you guys think? I say no.
I play on PC, so no, it doesn't affect me at all. Like,
Yeah, I don't know why people are opposed to this.
play
Like,
on
you know,
PC.
keep parity, but like if it isn't competitive,
I guarantee
what
you I'm
do you
playing higher
care?
than most of my people.
yeah, why are you
I
holding back
guarantee you
my
play-
experience when I could achieve that 60 frames?
It doesn't make any sense.
It's cooperative. Yeah, I think that's a backwards mindset.
They can do it, man. I know they can
I mean,
do
we
it.
crossplay
Especially on
with
the
Forza on Horizon
can't do
3,
it on
right?
Pro.
So why can't my
Definitely
X
do
be
that.
60 frames?
It-
Why does it have to still be
I don't
30?
even give a damn if it's a competitive game. If I bought the X, I bought it so it can be the best thing out there. So
Yeah.
make it
Well,
the
I mean, I
best
understand
damn
with
thing
like
out there.
shooters and shit, maybe, but
Let me
like
tell you something.
a racing game, who cares?
Before Destiny was even created, 30 frames per second was already chose as the frame rate. Before they even start development, that's one of the first things they do is we're going 60 frames or we're going 30. And once they pick one, they it's a go from there. The whole series is going to be 30 frames, unless it's on PC. I'm sorry.
because the Pro can't do it.
Well, again, there's like I said, I don't know, like I said, not to be sleazy, but for console parity, I just don't think that they're going to put in the extra work to do it, or whatever. If they're getting the 60 frames on the PC, you know what I mean? And again, I was talking with somebody online earlier, and Garrett was saying because the world is so big, there's a lot going on. All right, all that's cool for the single player, with the online multiplayer, you know, what do they call it? What is it? Team deathmatch, whatever they got, catch the flag or bases.
Yeah, they're completely bullshitting their Z. That could absolutely be 60 frames, even on the base consoles. There's no excuse there. In fact, they even lower the player count from the first game. That should tell you fucking something.
Yeah, so
the graphics didn't improve that much. If anything, your players went down. I mean, shit.
I'm not a big. I mean, I tried the demo.
I mean, I played the demo, but I ain't really get into
AZ,
it.
think about it. Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1 has 64 players online, and that's 60 frames. What does that tell you?
Right.
Well, you can't
It's
compare
got
it.
nothing to do with
screen.
No, but there's also vehicles. There's also
Yeah,
explosions.
there's
there's all the same bullshit
There's
that.
way bigger fucking maps. What does that shit tell you guys? Listen in the audience. Why is that not 60 frames? There's no excuse.
You're talking about player versus player, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. I was about to say
It's even more taxing than AI because you have to have individual streams all connected to a single server base, and then those individual streams have to control individual actions of each individual character. The AI runs a script. Like every AI performs the exact same
I had
way.
no fucking clue about that.
Like I said, AI all runs on the script. All AI, like all the same type of enemy perform the same damn way. They're all running the same script.
Yep.
But individual players are all different individual connections that you have to make their actions on their controller at in separate places cohesively work on the screen. Like altogether, that's even more taxing than AI.
It's not on a dedicated server because they wouldn't fucking do it.
Can we talk about that?
That's-
Activision has some of the biggest franchises in the world, and we still don't have dedicated servers.
Well, they got hybrid servers. Listen to this server.
Oh, fuck that. Shut the fuck up. That's some bullshit.
Get out of here.
Call of Duty is like the biggest game in the world. Fuck you, mean
Activision
no
is
one
jumping
dedicated
over
servers.
everything.
We got dedicated servers for Battlefield.
Hybrid servers. Fuck.
Activision is
Fuck you,
jumping
me.
over everything, bro.
You know what I mean? But again, and it's crazy. Maybe like I said, maybe if the Xbox would have been the console leader this generation, I think, and they could have maybe pushed their way. This again, because I used trust me, I was out there, damage was trolling. That was one of my arguing points. Jabari had to pay me $50 because I was saying, because this is what they were saying in 2013 that they were giving dedicated service to developers. And I'm gonna tell you a true story, right?
And they were, but developers weren't using it.
Check it out. I'm gonna tell you a true story. Listen here, right? You guys know that 2K is one of my favorite games, right? I usually buy it on both platforms. And normally when 2K comes out, I like the gameplay, but they got a trash, they online network, their net code is horrible, right? So I DM'd, I'm not gonna say his name, I DM'd one of the head guys over there at 2K, right? And I asked him, I'm paraphrasing here, I said, if Microsoft gives you guys access to dedicated servers, why won't you use them? Because this is horrible. And his exact words to me, I'm not gonna say his name, it wouldn't be fair to Sony and their fans, and so if they would have used those things.
Correct.
You know what I mean? That's what was told to me. You know what I mean? This is NBA 2K14. That's when I asked him that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? This was told to me. Okay. So again, you know what I mean? Maybe
online parody.
That just goes to show they rather
server parody.
The Xbox fans.
Listen, to good news, I see that Aaron Greenberg is part of the message. They are in talks with Sony. I think they call it an X Play. You know what I mean? Because I know Minecraft, which is a huge game, and it's kind of sneaky at Microsoft. It's getting a certain update or something, whatever the case, and. And for Nintendo, again, to get the update, that's why Nintendo's on board. If not, they were going to get the update, we're going to get the game. So that's one thing, like I said, software-wise, sells a lot from Microsoft. Minecraft.
Awesome.
So if Sony, I don't know what the numbers over there, but sure they have a huge Minecraft community, and they want to keep their customers there, that they're going to have to come to the table and include Minecraft.
Hey Z,
yes.
Is this Microsoft being the behemoth that they are?
It's sneakily, you know what I mean? Here's the thing. Listen, when it comes to that, Microsoft get a lot of hate, right? He said they bullies. But even if you look at what they do, right? What Microsoft does, whether you choose to admit it or not, Microsoft has their hand in Sony's pocket. Microsoft has their hands in Nintendo pocket.
Yeah.
What I mean by that?
Yep.
What I mean by that is, like, because you need software to push your hardware, and the different things that they do behind the scenes that maybe it may come out in an article, but it's not really, they don't really talk about it. Like Havoc, with them acquiring Havoc was
and Unity,
huge,
yeah,
and Unity.
They got Unity too.
Yeah, Microsoft owns Unity.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, why do you think that Unity announced that all Unity engines from here forward will be Xbox One X optimized because Microsoft owns Unity?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I said, that gives credence to what I'm saying. They do a lot of behind the scenes that don't really make, unless you really follow that stuff. You know what I mean? Don't really it's not advertised. And then they're cool with that. Like I said, Microsoft wants to make as much money as possible. And again, it's like the gift and the curse. Like they you know what I mean? They gonna get that bread. They gonna get, you know what I mean? So like I said, whether you choose to admit it or not, you know what I mean? Microsoft really controls gaming. Like, you know what I mean? This is the God's honest truth. And I asked this question, you know what I mean? And then you guys, we can close the show with this. I asked this question. I said, what would gaming be right now without Microsoft? Like I said, the Xbox. Because, Sony, I give Sony credit for what they did. You had a charge in the ColecoVision, right? Then Nintendo came after them, and they moved gaming forward. And then PlayStation, Sega came after Nintendo more or less, and they would move gaming forward. Then Sony came, and they moved gaming forward. And then Microsoft came with the original Xbox. And I'll give you an example. I mean, those who didn't have it.
Yeah, they move gaming forward to the fullest, more than any other companies, in my opinion.
Internal hard drive, we would still be paying for external storage to plug into
damn memory card.
Memory cards, BB.
Right,
we would still be
paying for extensions that go on the outside of our consoles
for the internet port,
for the internet, right?
Online probably wouldn't have became prominent.
It wouldn't.
Oh,
And
now,
05,
look,
607.
And now look at
Look,
this generation. Consoles
listen.
got external hard drive. This
Listen.
generation, they still
Listen.
pushing it forward.
Let me say this right quick. That right there, to me, has been the most like you said, what they gave the game, just on the online scene, right? Console wise, I mean, I understand other consoles online, but the fact that I remember I was an article and Bill was like, what did he say? We got to find a way to put this on AOL, right? And they would, and the developers and stuff, and the engineers were like, no, listen, to have the dream and stuff that we want to have, like the goal, we can't do this over dial-up. So they stuck to their guns. And remember, people were coming out slamming Microsoft, it's not going to work. And like I said, I was a beta tester for Xbox Live. And when the first kits went on sale, I think it did like 150,000 in the first month, and which was, I guess it was big numbers for that time back then. And Live continued to grow and grow and grow. And of course, like I said, Sony was playing catch up. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, and a lot of you guys may not know, so a lot of you guys may have got into this gaming thing when you had a store, when you had a PlayStation store, or even when you had party chat and stuff. For those who know what I'm talking about, that those first couple of years of the PS3 were horrible. They were
terrible.
There wasn't no stores, none of that stuff. I mean, I said Microsoft gets a lot of hate, or even with the indie scene. You know what I mean? I just it was crazy how generations changed, because last generation we just called them Xbox Live arcade titles, and it was crazy.
That was the first. That was the first store.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. We just called them Xbox Live arcade titles, but you still had, was crazy. You still had, like, I think it was like 2007, 2008. You had like an indie store. Was a bunch of, but they ain't had no achievements on them games though. You had a blackjack, all types of games. We just never really bragged about them. But this generation, Sony guys were bragging about Octodad and Wrestle Game. I think it was a cool game. It was all about the indies. But like I said, Microsoft, like I said, in the day, they I will give them that for pushing and gaming forward. Now their messaging hasn't always been
consistent.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like I always say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You know what I mean? If they had a better, to me, at the start of this generation, Microsoft needed someone like a Jay Allard or something. You know what I mean? Because the guys they had out front talking, they ain't dance this way. You know what I mean? And that was more with bigger backlash than anything. You know what I mean? What about the
Xbox would have sold a lot more. They would have stated things more clearly at E3 2013 period.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Z. Even
that's
down
fact.
to the controller, you know what I'm saying? They had the integrated rumble packs. Look at that. Like,
yeah,
Sony
all that stuff.
PS3.
You know what I'm saying?
Check. Let me say something. Back in the OG days, man, we was online playing somebody from in another state while streaming music from the hard drive at the same time talking. Hey, man, and that was back then, man. It was doing that back then, man. Man, Joe, that's why, man.
Hey, post
Man,
up. How about that Switch though, man? That Switch online.
Man. And then back in the day, Microsoft was smart, and this is one of the greatest investments I will believe to this day.
Hey man,
despite the $4 billion that they put into the OG Xbox, the $2 billion they put into them data centers that they put all around the world, them 3 or 4 data centers that they invested $2 billion. They was looking way beyond where they was at that time. You know what I'm saying? And at that time it showed, because the PS3, it was pretty much terrible because developers had to run their own service. Sony didn't, they had to run their own service. Yeah. And if a developer didn't want to invest their money in it, or they ain't had the budget for it, a lot of their games wouldn't even online.
Yeah. And
they used to whine about that shit.
You know what? But at the end, like I said in the day, I'll say this, okay? 2018 is coming next year. This holiday season is going to be all about the multiplats. And to be fair, even if Crackdown would release, it still would have been all about the multiplats. But it's which gave it a little sting because we haven't had anything this year. But Halo Wars 2, and that's what's your niche title. Then you're releasing Forza Motorsport, which is a AAA game, but it's a niche title because not everybody's into simulation racers. I'm not, you know what I mean? So that's why it kind of I guess was kind of snug a little bit, and then they didn't have any the big. What they do got Assassin's Creed, but it's not as big as the duties,
Honestly,
Star Wars Battlefronts and Destiny 2. But,
honestly, go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Cool. But anyway, like I said, we can get the hell about it. We've been here for about an hour and a half. Like I said, thank you guys for rocking out with us on the Patreon. I've got my man Brian, his VIP on the Patreon. Thanks to him. We're looking for new talent. Like I said, Broadband Bullies, we're growing. The brand, we're looking for streamers, podcasters, sports people that into sports, all different aspects. If you want to get down, like I said, get behind us.
We're doing it all.
We're doing it big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, keep it broadband.
Yeah,
Hey, Z, but before you end the show, I just want to give a quick message out to my man, Jay Centuries. How about them X pre-orders, you motherfucker? You did a 2-hour podcast with me, made me stay the fuck up. Like, it's not going to appeal to the casuals. It's not going to sell. Fuck you. It's selling like crazy, bro.
Damn, pew pew.
Fuck you, me. This shit ain't going to sell.
Do we got to
It already
JC
outsold the PS4 Pro for the fucking year off.
JC and the Nico's debate?
Let's talk about
See a
it.
debate coming.
This Nico versus Jay.
Let's go.
JC, a debate coming.
Go.
Hey, man, maybe. But seriously, Jay, where are you at, bro? I haven't seen you on Twitter.
Oh,
I don't know about all that, man.
I don't know about that.
set it up. Set it up. You gotta throw the ring.
Alex is supposed to come on Friday, right? I got too much.
Yeah, Alex and Halo Storm.
Friday and Halo Storm, but Porter Rock is supposed to debate this guy named Mark from the Netherlands on Friday. So I'm gonna see if I can put the
Which Alex he debating?
The one you debated.
Tony Alex.
Who debated Alex? You debated Alex?
Psycho Alex.
Yeah.
Tony Alex.
Yeah, so we're gonna make it happen.
Need a brain, Alex.
Yeah, we're gonna make it
Yeah,
happen.
but what about the Oh No It's Alex? You got him at one point?
Say who?
The Oh No It's Alex guy? You got him coming up,
Oh yeah,
Alex?
I need to put him up there, man. The PC guy.
Yeah, you got to put him up with like Post Up or maybe D.
Put him on with Master.
Oh, Maslin, yeah, that'd be great.
He's one of those guys to stomp him out. Yeah, so we got Oh No It's Alex. Yeah, man, it's a lot. We working over here, man.
Yeah, that'll be a good debate. Maslin and Oh No. Yeah, that'll be a real.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Set that shit up. That'll be fire.
Yeah, we working.
I'm not
Fire.
Broadband Bullies, they doing it like us.
Hey, bro, Maslin, he came out
His
of
bodies
bomb and then
belong
he
to
started giving
them
them
all.
death blows. You don't want to
As
fuck
he
with
say,
Maslin
are
after that
you
debate.
not entertained?
Line them bodies up against the wall. Headshots all around, bro.
I gotta say this one thing, right?
Headshot.
And I got like two more. Besides me being overly handsome, I mean, I'm not leaving my wife. We out of here, man.
Broadband.